What do you want out of your speaking skills? What level do you want to be at? Would you like to be a world-class speaker? What do you think? What are your thoughts? And are your thoughts in line with world-class speakers? Because our thoughts create our feelings, create our actions. It was 1994. It was just before a Toastmaster meeting. I was a brand new Toastmaster. And if you were standing there in the room right outside the meeting room, the photocopier, next to myself and Dan Jones, my club president, you would have seen reams of paper on the wall. You would have heard the copy machine going in the background as we photocopied the agenda. And you would have smelled the toner in the air as you would have heard Dan Jones ask me a question. He said, Darren, do you realize what you have to give? Give? I'm not here to Toastmasters to give. I'm here to get stage time. That's why I'm here. He said, what do you have to give? I didn't understand the question. I said, Dan, what do you mean? He said, Darren, you're studying to become a comedian, right? Yeah. But I'm not a comedian. He said, why don't you teach people how to add humor to their presentations? I said, people would want to know that? Well, of course, but from my perspective and from my thoughts, I didn't see that. I didn't realize what I had to give. Well, Dan encouraged me to do a 5 to 7 minute speech at my Toastmaster Club, my very first educational speech. Now keep in mind where I came from. I started in stand-up comedy. And I joined Toastmasters as a place to work on my stories to make them funnier so I could make mistakes before I went on the comedy stage. So in my world, if the audience wasn't laughing, I was dying. So everyone in the room knew exactly how well I was doing. So here I am, giving my very first educational speech. And people were taking notes. I thought, how rude. I didn't realize it was a good thing. But after my speech, several people came up to me and thanked me. I had never been thanked in the comedy world before. I wasn't even funny yet. Well, in fact, it went over so well that Dan encouraged me to do a breakout session at my district conference for Toastmasters. But I didn't even have enough confidence to do it myself. I actually co-presented with another Toastmaster who was also a comedian. His name was Gary. And if you were sitting in that room, you would have seen halfway through the presentation as Gary nervously gave his presentation. I stood in the back corner. And Gary, in the middle of his presentation, froze. I mean, he really froze. And I'm standing in the back corner thinking, man, someone should do something. And at that instant, I jumped into action for the audience. And that's when my speaking thoughts changed. That's when I forgot about me and stopped worrying about what people thought of Darren. And I started thinking about what will they leave with? What will they leave with? And that brought me to a whole nother level of speaking. Well, at the end of that presentation, a fellow Toastmaster, Bethany Gold Kroll, came up to me and she asked me a question. She said, Darren, I'm the New England Recruiter representative. It's my job as a meeting planner to pick a keynote speaker. I would like you to speak for the New England Recruiters Association. How much do you charge? Charge? I wasn't sure which way the money was going. Hey! I had just started getting, at that point, paid $50 a set in the comedy world, which was a huge deal. That was like hitting the lottery. Well, I started hearing that in the corporate world, they paid a lot more. I mean, a lot more. So I started calculating in my head as quick as I could. I looked her dead in the eye and I said, 75. Her face went flush, and I'm thinking, 65, 65. I thought I was being greedy. It turns out that the comedian, the year before, who did the same keynote speech at the same association, got paid $1,000. I get paid $75. But it didn't matter. See, to me, 75 might as well have been 1,000. I was just getting started. My thoughts were in line with $75. My questions were in line with $75. I wasn't confident enough to ask for the 1,000. Today, I'm fortunate enough to earn 100 times that for a 1-hour speech. I don't say that to brag. I just say that to let people know where I started, where I've gone, and I'm still not done. I have a ways to go. But question for you, what's the difference between a $75 speaker and a $7,500 speaker? What's the difference? What do you think?
Experiences.
Experience? What else?
Confidence.
Style.
Confidence.
Style.
That's so L.
No hair.
Charms.
Oh.
My opinion, the biggest difference is my thoughts when I was back then and where I am today. It's truly my thoughts, but I've learned so much along the way. And one of the things that I've been studying now is the subconscious and the conscious mind. And what I want to do is show you what I mean by that. A lot of us think we know what we're thinking, and we act on our subconscious mind. See, there's two. There's the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what we're aware of. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen, where you call someone on the phone, and before they pick up, you forgot why you called.